Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a while. I don't even know if I could see myself that well in the shot, but we're going to skip all the fancy parts. It's not like anybody's actually watching. A long-awaited update on the Defender RC car. I completed it. Hell, I don't even think I showed the fact that I got painted the first time. Looks very nice. Actually, this is its second paint job because, as I said again, I've shorted you quite a bit. I finished painting it, finished the steering modification, electronics. I bought everything over the winter. This is ended up being a 6-channel. It's from Radio Link is the brand, I believe. It's on eBay. Comes with a receiver. After that, I went to Hobbytown, or my local Hobbytown, and found well, this is what they had. This is a Glacier quality lithium polymer battery. It's a 2-cell, 7.4 volt, 30 continuous discharge, 1000 milliamp. So I went through and did that. Another cool thing, aside from it's now painted or a second time, is instead of having to unscrew it constantly, like the way it was before, because there's two screws here, one here in the back, I now actually modify it where it is literally a set of magnets. The modification involved taking 2 of the magnets, lining them up with the stud here, and then marking it with a razor blade and cutting it with a razor blade. It was a pain in the butt, but from what I remember, then I super glued into the. There was actually little pockets for the stud or the shafts to slide into. So I slid one set of magnets in there. One set got glued to each stud, and that made up the difference in the height. So the height is actually just as normal as it was when it came from the factory. I did put lights in this thing. They're actually sitting out in the car right now. I took them out of this thing when I went to paint it a second time, and then when I did, I actually pulled one or two of the wires, so I've got to resolder. But the lights were controlled from the transmitter and receiver. If anybody remembers the giant circuit board that this thing used to have, I cut out the entire battery box because I wasn't sure what the electronics were going to look like ahead of time. It ended up being this tiny little transmitter box and the, I don't remember what this is called, the power controller. I'll have to look it back up. So anyway, they're literally hot glued in, so if I need to pop them off and reposition them or whatever I want to do. I've got a set of rubber bands temporarily because I was building a platform for the battery to sit on because I was hoping to put more weight on the back, because this thing drifts. Well, it doesn't really drift. All it does is just it likes to spin around if you're not too careful with it. At the moment, it's still a little tall, so I have to do some more modifications to set it down further without hopefully blocking too much of this. It's still running the stock motor. Originally, I think it was anyway, whatever the voltage was, I have it turned up a little bit beyond what it normally was running, but not too much. That's actually controlled in the Radio Link. You can actually, it goes by percentage basically. But the nice part is I did finally find a servo. I actually had a smaller servo. I've got 2 more left over that are going to be used for the pods. They were plastic gear set up, and it took a little bit of learning to drive the thing basically, but I did discover, anybody that has one will know there's little tabs here in the front corners. Well, when you make it full function steering, you're actually going to have problems with the tires catching the 2 corners of the bumper. So I ended up shaving them down with a razor blade, cut off, got rid of the little locking tabs that go in there too. It doesn't make it too loose. It actually gives it enough flexibility for when you spin out and slide into something. Trust me, paint flaked off quite a bit, so I had to sand it down, reprime it, block it again, basically with my finger as the block and a small bit of sandpaper. I actually had a couple of gouges which are really hard to see, and I don't think they're going to come up on camera. But yeah, okay, so back to the steering, sorry. The servo in here is a Metal Gear servo, and these are two sections of a paper clip. I have it literally hot glued in. I ran the wires over to the controller here and kind of ran them up and around so that way it wasn't flopped around super bad. The lights run another channel, so they're on a third channel. I was actually able to mount the power switch in the stock location. It's not the most fun because of the riser that they have molded into the body. I actually had to cut it out so I could reach my finger in there better. So it's a little bit choppy. I got to do some touch up. As far as the original steering update I had talked about, I actually have gutted more of the framework, and up here the cap that used to be solid for the most part is obviously hollowed out. If I had purchased this beforehand, I probably would have maybe figured out a way to flip it upside down, and then the servo would sit up here, and then the servo horn would be down inside here. I could do that on the other one later on, but this one technically is my prototype setup. Getting it to work. I try to turn it, but because it's a Metal Gear, it doesn't like to turn too much. This one's a little bit on the loose side. It does track fairly well. You know, anybody that has a radio link or one similar to it, you know, you have a bunch of adjustment that you can do and get it straightened out perfectly. I've noticed when it starts up, it does need to be tuned a little bit. It does like to veer off one way or the other, and then you just touch it up one way, you know, when you get a chance. Back to the rubber band. I have the rubber band here so it doesn't flop the battery around. I'll just slip it in like that, and that's why I have to build this platform, because actually the wires at the moment are going to be right in the way of one of the pods I printed off. Plugs in like that, and just slip the control, the one that monitors the battery when it's being charged. I just slip that down there like that for now, and then it literally snaps back together like so. And it holds very well considering it's the really small neodymium magnets. The pod doors are still right here. I had them temporarily taped to the pods, and I did experiment with them opening and closing to a point, you know, making sure they had enough clearance. The ones I have printed off, once I get it a little more detailed, make sure they work, I will probably make a STL file and make it available for anybody that does have one and wants to modify theirs. But at the moment, since it's not done, I don't want to, you know, release it, because I did it the way we set up the model. The guide slots that we designed for it to slide across these tiny ass little bolts. I ended up having to take a drill and I think a razor blade and round them out really bad, because they were not spaced perfectly, and then I obviously just trying to guess at making these holes. Even though I marked them, because it's such a small setup and things didn't want to stay where they were marked, I had to round out the slots. They're in a box somewhere. We did some cleaning up for a party, and now I've got to go digging in the garage for them. I will make an update video with those, so that way you can see how they operate to a point. And then I do have some small other sections of plexiglass from this that I build a frame for the, and they're actually already cut out a little bit. They're just not permanently attached yet. For the, they're actually going to be set up for the servos to be set up here and here. I think I'm going to put them on the front or the back. I can't remember which, but they're going to be inside the body. No room issues that I seen when I test fitted them. The only thing I have to design is a connection between the servo horn and the pods to the point where when it does push it, it doesn't flop it downwards because of it's like a trapezoid that I designed. So I got to make sure it's not going to flop downwards when it opens up. So once I get that test fitted and figured out, then I'll post a video about that. So at the moment, I would turn it on and drive it around, show you how it works. There are some videos on my the Facebook page I made for this. It's I don't even remember that now. To it, thank you. Sorry, this is really raw. So this is, it is, get my fingers out of the way here. It is set up as RC VIPER Defender Facebook page. I just got done posting the new pictures with the new paint job. So it's second paint job. There's a video here. I won't sit there and force you to watch up a video of a video. There's one with the lights going, test running with a chase video car that I basically originally used for my Handycam, but my Handycam did not like the bouncing around in the car, so we actually strapped my phone with the projector mod to keep it upright. That's actually how I'm doing this video right now by myself. There's pictures of the Handycam setup, which turned out pretty bad. And there's the fresh paint job. And there was doing all the sanding to get rid of all the chips. And then the thing about, why am I not going? Okay, for some reason, okay, there it goes. So there's somebody doing something about the Hot Wheels. There's that video. There's those pictures of the thing again. Oh, now I'll give you a quick preview of it. There's the lights on. And it turns left and right, but one of my raw videos. So, and then there's both of them. So, all right. Anyway, so that is everything. So let's get you a couple nice shots of it. There is some hard, it's hard to see, but there is a couple. You really got to look hard for this thing. In person, you can kind of see them better, but there's some hard sand scratches there, even though I used only 400 grit. Yeah, you barely see it up by the hologram projector. Because I tried keeping it going one way because of the metallic and the way metallic likes to lay when you spray it. So. Looks really nice this time around. I didn't screw up or touch it too early like I did the last time. There is this little bump. Like I said, it's really hard to see. And I got rid of it because on one side or the other, I can't remember which, but there was a huge wave here the first time around. But since I didn't post any videos, nobody even knows about it. I guess I'm just letting you guys know to let you know. And then there's still some scratches. I'm going to probably get some optical polish that I've got for, I bought it for detailing my car. I bet I could get this to shine up really nice because you can still see some of the scuffs from it driving around and flying underneath of a few things. A little bit of a blemish there, but nothing too big of a deal. I wanted to do some more detail sanding to it. I was actually going to give it another coat of primer, but I was thinking about it, it's like, considering how I was driving it before, I shouldn't worry too much about it. I'll probably end up having to repaint it again anyway. There's another little ding in the primer that I couldn't get out right there. Like I said, they're really minute, and since it's such a small car, you're not going to notice. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff that everybody needs to get more support. Share the videos if you're into it. Check out the Facebook page again. It's RC Viper Defender on Facebook. Could really use the support in getting this figured out. And then I'll be posting another video with all the batteries in running. I'll show the lights and how I have that routed. They were hot glued in. I'll get them all put back in and show you what LEDs I used and go from there. Alright, have a good day.